mentioned that find the roots of the following equation. So given 4 equation, so where we have x squared minus 4x minus 5 equals to 0. The second one will be x cubed minus 8 equals to 0. The third one is x to the power 3 minus exponent x equals to 0. And the number 4, x to the power 4 minus x to the power 3 plus x is equals to 0. So here we have many equations. Okay, so like the equation for number 3 and number 4, we do not have the exact root. Okay, just like the equation number 1 and 2, I believe that if you press the calculator and you will have the exact root, or we can say the value of x or the solution. So now for the case 3 and 4, so where we do not have the exact root, meaning that when you press the calculator, we can't locate or we can't find the value for the roots. Okay, we are going to use another method, which is approximate the roots of this equation, so meaning that for the equation 3 and 4. Then we can obtain the root by using number 1, where we have graphical method. Second one, we're searching for the sign of change. And the third one is to use the Newton-Raphson method. So meaning that in here, we are going to focus.
So, di sini, harap you faham, kita nak fokus kawasan ini, 3 and 4. Sebab, they cannot be obtained. Faham? You tak boleh obtain exact root. Makna dia, what is root? Tulis. Solution. Value of x. Atau intersection point between two curve. Itu adalah benda yang kita minat, iaitu roots. So dalam 3.1 and 3.2 ini, dia melibatkan 3 benda. Graphical method, yang paling low rank sekali. Hanya anggaran saja. Yang kedua, searching for sign change. Rank ini tinggi sikit. Lebih daripada graphical method. Faham? Tapi masih boleh lagi. Tetap estimate lagi. Yang ketiga adalah Newton-Raphson method. Dia masih estimate. Tapi, dia better than searching for sign change. Dia better than graphical method. So, rank yang paling bagus adalah Newton-Raphson. Yang kedua adalah searching for sign change. Yang ketiga adalah graphical method. Okay? So, harap you faham lah. Apa tujuan dia sebenarnya kita buat subtopik 3.1 and 3.2 ini. So, kita ada contoh. Kita ada contoh.
We have the part 1, which is the solutions of non-linear equation. And at the same time, I'm going to discuss how to find the roots by using the graphical method, number 1. So number 2, searching for the sign change. And then,
dengar, saya kata yang number 1, graphical method. Number 2, searching for sign change. Makna dia, saya akan guna soalan yang sama ini dalam nota kuliah you, cuma saya one shot guna 3 method terus. Faham? One shot. Kalau you rujuk nota kuliah, dia bahagian demi bahagian. Kalau buat graf, semua graf. Kalau sign change, semua sign change, akhirnya baru Newton-Raphson. Saya gabung 3 tu dalam satu example. Okay?
and followed by number 3, where we have Newton-Raphson method. So the purpose is to find the roots or the intersection between the two curves or the graph. So kindly refers to the questions. So questions state that by drawing suitable graph, estimate the roots of the following equations. So name from the question, we know that question asks us to sketch the graph. But do remember, I emphasize again, I'm going to find the roots or estimate the roots or approximate the roots. Okay, by using 3 methods. Number 1 is graphical method. So just like the question mentioned, drawing suitable graph. And I will add on the second one will be the searching for the sign change. And the third one is the Newton-Raphson. Straightforward, we find the roots.
So dengar, saya guna tiga method dalam satu soalan ini. Okay?
Kindly refers to the question. A. Given the function x to the power 3 plus 2x is equals to 5. So if we are focusing on using a graph sketching, so my suggestion would be I'm going to split the graph into 2 parts so that my life will be easier in order to estimate the roots. So now given the situation, so I'm going to modify the situation where we have x to the power of 3 is equals to 5 minus 2x. Then we can split the situation just like this. Y is equals to x to the power of 3. Another equation where we have y is equals to negative 2x plus 5. So as we all know, for the graph y is equals to x to the power of 3. So here we will have the basic graph. Next is to focus on y is equals to negative 2x plus 5. So as we all know, in order to sketch the straight line graph, what we have to do is to having a 2-point. So my suggestion is x equals to 0, so y is equals to 5, followed by x equals to 2 and y is equals to 1. Then I'm going to plot the situation. So here we will have the straight line. Next, y equals to negative 2x plus 5. And we notice that there is an intersection between the curve. And we can see that the roots is lie in between 0 until 5/2. So that is the estimation of the roots, or we can say approximate of the roots. So that is the first method, graphical method. Next, I'm going to proceed with searching for the sign change, or we can say the algebraic method.
So, you nampak tak sekarang? Kita buat graf, kita hanya boleh agak-agak bahawa dia berada di antara 0 sampailah 5/2. Guna mata tengok diagram. Faham? You tak boleh kata, ini 1 kan? Dia di antara 1 dengan inilah. Tak boleh. Kita hanya nampak dari sini ada bounded kan? So, di sinilah dia. Tapi tak tahu berapa. Tapi kita tahu dia di dalam 0 sampai 5/2. So, agak kasar sikit lah. Faham? Bila kita nak tentukan dia punya root tu. Root ni adalah intersection point between the two curves. Okay, so graphical method. Next, saya nak guna sign change. So kalau sign change, dia more on trial and error.
I'm going to proceed with searching for the sign change, or we can say the algebraic method. So for the second suggestion, or the second method, which is searching for sign change. So first step is to have the equation where we must have x to the power 3 plus 2x minus 5 equals to 0. Then only we can have fx, where we have y equals to x to the power 3 plus 2x minus 5. So here we have the equation. Next is to substitute any value, try and error, okay, in order to find the sign change. So for example, I substitute x equals to 0. So with the help from the calculator, and I have negative 5 for the value y. Next, I substitute 1. Then we still have a negative value, followed by the third one, where we have value 7, where we have a positive value. So notice that here we have opposite sign. Here we have the opposite sign. So shows that the opposite sign shows that there is a root between x equals to 1 and x equals to 2.
So, keadaan kedua, sign change. So, macam mana nak cari function? Whenever you dapat x to the power 3 plus 2x minus 5 equals to 0. Kalau dia equals to 0 saja, itu adalah function for fx. Kemudian, you key in benda ini dalam calculator, then you guna try and error. You substitute 0, 1, 2, kalau tak jumpa lagi 3, 4 kan, you akan nampak. Bila dia sign change sahaja, you tulis opposite sign. Okay, so mungkin dalam nota kuliah berbeza kan? So saya cadangkan you straight to the point. Tulis ini. Okay, tak perlu tulis FA greater than 0 ke, FB less than 0, tak perlu. Straightforward, tulis macam ni, opposite sign. Then, tak perlu scenes, apa semua tak payah. Straightforward. Macam ni sahaja. So ini penting di antara mana. Okay, ini pun penting. Okay, keyword dia. Faham? So ini adalah sign change. So berbanding dengan tadi, 0 until 2.5 kan. Ini, you nampak 1 and 2. Dia lagi kecil lah. Dia punya range tu. Maksudnya, lagi tepat lah. Berbanding dengan graphical method. So sekarang saya akan pergi ke kaedah yang seterusnya, iaitu Newton-Raphson.
Raphson method. So the purpose is to approximate or estimate the root of the equation. So repeat the same thing. So like just now, we already determined the function of fx. So now what we have to do is to, the first step, determine the function. The second one is to find the first derivative. So where we have to differentiate the fx and we will obtain 3x squared plus 2. Then is to look for the x naught. Okay, is to look for the x naught. So how to determine the x naught? So if we refer to the situation, okay, for the searching sign change, we have the roots is in between 1 and 2. So kindly locate the midpoint. So meaning that 1 plus 2 over 2. So we will have 1.5. So this is what we call the x naught. Just an estimation. Next, kindly refers to the formula. So this is the formula for Newton-Raphson.
Okay, so di sini kita nak cari x naught kan? Adakah mesti 1.5? Tidak. Walaupun di antara dua ini, you boleh ambil 1.6, 1.7, whatever number pun boleh. Yang penting di antara mereka. So saya bagi cadangan, ambil midpoint paling senang. Okay, ambil midpoint paling senang. Boleh good? So inilah cara dia kita cari midpoint di antara mereka. Kemudian, kita pun akan ambil function ini, kita akan substitute. So, take note di sini, mesti kena tulis. Mesti kena tulis. Okay, benda yang macam ni, kena substitute 2 kali. Faham? Makna dia, lepas ini, you dapat nilai X1 ini, you pun kena masuk dan tulis macam ni juga untuk kali kedua. Faham? Boleh? Kemudian you tekan calculator, sehingga maksud saya, you key in, you calculate, then you dapat answer, you calculate, you dapat equal, you akan dapat answer, sehingga you nampak ada benda yang berulang. Then tulis, repeated, then berhenti. Okay, berhenti. Kalau X1 ini, kita panggil first iteration. Kalau ini, kita panggil second iteration, third iteration, and fourth iteration. Nampak benda yang sama, berhenti. Tulis repeated, then tulislah you punya root. Okay, so kalau ini panggil 4 decimal places. Boleh good? Boleh ya? So ini adalah salah satu contoh lah Newton-Raphson. Saya gabung tiga-tiga cara dalam satu soalan. Sekarang saya akan ambil contoh yang lain, iaitu trigo.
And also the Newton-Raphson method. So now, what is the use of Newton-Raphson method? The purpose of using Newton-Raphson method is to estimate or approximate the root of the equation. As we can see, this is a non-linear equation where we have cos x minus x. So there are 3 types of strategy that we can use to estimate or to approximate the root. So number 1, where we have the graphical method. So kindly focus on the situation where we have cos x minus x equals to 0. So where we have the function fx. So my suggestion is to split the situation. So we will have y is equals to cos x and y is equals to x. Next is to sketch the graph. So as we can see, y is equals to cos x. So the graph will be something like this. So based on the domain, as we can see, sketch the graph based on 0 until pi. So means that we have to stop over here. So meaning that this one is the extra one for the right hand side. Next, what we have to do is to sketch the graph for y is equals to x. So where we have y is equals to x, which is the linear graph, passed by the origin. So here will be the root. So from the graphical method, so from the graph, we notice that the root lies in between 0 until pi over 2. So that is the graphical method to use to approximate the root. Next, we are going to discuss the second method, searching for sign change. So previously, we already have the function where we have cos x minus x equals to 0. And we can transform them become fx is equals to cos x minus x. So here we have the situation. So for the method searching for sign change, meaning that we have to substitute the value for the x. So let's say, before we substitute, do remember must set the mode in the calculator radian, because it deals with the trigo function. Do remember must set in the mode radian whenever we deal with the function in trigo. So let's say the starting is 0, because we know that the function is in between 0 and pi. So let's say we have 0. If we press the calculator, it shows a positive value, which is 1. Next, followed by pi over 2. Notice that we have a negative value. So we can see that opposite sign show that there is a root in between x equals to 0 and x equals to pi over 2. So here we have another method to find the roots of the equation. Or we can say approximate or estimate the root for the equation. So the third method will be the Newton-Raphson method. Next, what we have to do is to repeat the situation. First, you must have...
So, saya harap you nampak saya dah tunjuk dah dua method. So, untuk example ini, yang paling penting adalah apa? Mesti mode radian dalam calculator. Jika you tak buat mode radian, saya rasa semua habis lah. You tekan, jawapan you akan berbeza dengan yang sepatutnya. So, untuk ini, Newton-Raphson untuk soalan ni, saya akan ulang sekali lagi, iaitu first, you mesti cari fx. Kemudian, you differentiate. Semester 1, differentiate berhati-hati, bukan integrate. Kemudian, nak cari x0. So, saya guna ilmu tadi. Okay, ilmu tadi, range saya di antara 0 until pi over 2. So, nak cari x0, 0 plus pi over 2 over 2. So, dapat pi over 4. Kemudian ambil, ganti. Ingat, benda yang macam ni, kena buat 2 kali. Maksudnya, lepas ini you dapat jawapan ini, you kena substitute sekali lagi, tulis di bawah ni, faham? Dan ulang proses yang sama. Saya ulang, ini panggil first iteration, ini panggil second iteration, ini panggil third iteration. Boleh? Sehingga dapat benda yang sama, tulis repeated, akhirnya tulis jawapan you. Faham? So, ini adalah contoh dalam nota kuliah. So, saya harap you nampak. Okay? Kalau 3.1 dengan 3.2, mereka adalah satu benda, iaitu Newton-Raphson method. Kalau untuk 3.3, dia adalah trapezoidal rule adalah untuk cari area. Yang ini untuk cari roots atau solution atau value of x. Show that.
Then find the roots correct to three significant figures. So now what we have to do is to, number one, find the function fx. So rearrange the situation. So 2 multiplied with x cubed plus x squared minus 33 equals to 0. So as we can see, here we have the function of fx. So fx is equals to 2 multiplied with x cubed plus x squared minus 33. Step number 2 is to find dy dx, or the first derivative, or f prime x or y prime. So where we have f prime x is equals to 6x squared plus 2x. Next one.
Boleh? So sekarang you dah dapat you punya fx, you dah dapat you punya f prime x. So soalan suruh saya show. Show. You boleh buat graph, you boleh guna sign change. Tapi nasihat saya adalah guna sign change, algebraic, laju sikit. So makna dia, saya nak ambil nilai 2 ini, saya substitute. Okay, saya substitute dalam fx. So saya akan dapat apa? Negatif 13. Kemudian substitute 2.5, saya akan dapat 4.5. So nampak tak ada opposite sign? So kalau ada opposite sign, automatic kita tulislah dia ada root in between x equals to 2 and x equals to 2.5. And find the roots correct to three significant figure. Dia suruh you cari root. Makna dia, saya akan guna Newton-Raphson lah. Saya guna Newton-Raphson method. So, nampak formula saya? Then, x naught. Senang cari midpoint mereka. So, macam mana cari midpoint? 2.5 plus 2 over 2, 2.25. Then, ganti. Nampak? Ganti. Then, key in calculator. Okay. So, rasanya you dah rujuk kan? Key in calculator. Tekan calculate. Tekan answer. Tekan equal. Dapat jawapan. So, saya pun catat. Kemudian, tadi saya kata apa? Ulang proses yang sama. Makna dia, nampak tak? Ini kali pertama. Ini kali kedua. Tulis benda yang sama. Walaupun panjang, tulis. Ikut. Ini adalah skema. Faham? Dalam exam. Kemudian saya pun tekan calculate. Saya tekan answer. Saya tak key in satu persatu. Saya guna function yang ada. Saya calculate. Saya answer equal. So, saya dapatlah jawapan saya. Ulang proses yang sama. Kali ketiga tak perlu dah buat ini. Buat 2 kali sahaja. Then, saya pun ulang proses yang sama sehingga saya nampak repeated. So, finally, jawapan saya ini. Then, soalan tak nyatakan nak berapa, saya tak perasan dah. Dia nyatakan berapa, kita ikutlah. So, kalau ikut situasi ini,
Here we are.
dia nak 3 significant figure. So, inilah jawapan dia. So, saya harap you nampak apa yang saya tunjuk dalam example ini.
The second curve
Okay, untuk soalan ni, dia nak you sketch. Okay, dia nak you sketch.
will be y is equals to exponent x. Use the Newton-Raphson method to find the roots of the situation. 2 multiplied with the x cubed plus exponent x equals to 0. Give your answer correct to 4 decimal places. So task number 1, I'm going to sketch the graph. So kindly refers to the situation. Next, what we have to do is to sketch the graph for y equals to negative 2 multiplied with x to the power of 3. So notice that it is a cubic graph, and we have the value of a, which is a negative 2, less than 0. So the graph will be towards the left. So here will be the situation. So y is equals to negative 2 multiplied with x cubed. Next, we have to sketch the graph for.
So, berkenaan dengan graph, you kena rujuk semula lah dalam chapter 5, semester 1 lah, how to sketch the graph. Okay?
Y equals to exponent x. So kindly refers to the index. Here we have x, which is a positive. So if it's a positive, the graph will be moving towards the right from the left. So where y is equals to exponent x. So notice that here we have the roots. And we are interested in this part. What is the value of x? Or we can say the roots. Kindly refers to the question. Use the Newton-Raphson method. Find the roots for the situation. So given the situation y is equals to negative 2 multiplied with x cubed. Y is equals to exponent x. So try to combine the situation and we will have negative 2x cubed equals to exponent x. Rewrite the situation and we will have exponent x plus 2 multiplied with x cubed equals to 0. So from here, we can find out the function of fx, which is 2 multiplied with x cubed plus exponent x. Second step is to find the first derivative, where we have f prime x is equals to 6x squared plus with the exponent x. Next, what we have to do is to estimate the value of x.
Okay? Boleh? So, saya dah sketch, saya dah agak-agak dah. Dia di sini. Okay, dia di sini. So, automatic lah. Saya tahu di sini kosong. Tapi saya tak tahu sini nak berhenti di mana kan? That's why saya nak guna Newton-Raphson untuk tentukan dia. Okay, untuk tentukan dia. So, soalan ni dengan soalan sebelum berbeza. Soalan sebelum dia bagi range. Soalan ni dia tak bagi range. Dan saya pun tak tahu nak berhenti di mana. So, dia minta saya guna Newton-Raphson, cari fx, differentiate, then substitute. Okay, substitute. Saya guna fx ini, saya nak tentukan di mana dia. So, saya nampak dia di antara kosong sampai negative 1. Itu yang saya substitute lah. Okay. So, perlu tak saya tulis ini? Tidak perlu. Sebab soalan tak suruh saya show. Tapi, saya buat juga. Sebab saya dah biasa. Next, kita nak guna Newton-Raphson formula. So, x0, tahu tak macam mana dapat? Harap tahu ya. Divide by 2. Kemudian, kita pun substitute. Okay, substitute untuk kali kedua. Dan kita ulang proses yang sama. Sehingga kita nampak ada repeated cases. So, untuk case ini adalah maybe dia panggil 3 significant figure atau keadaannya kita panggil 3 decimal places. So, saya harap you dapat ikut. Okay. So, example yang seterusnya, dia luar biasa sikit. Okay, dia luar biasa sedikit.
So, kindly refers to the question. Approximate surd 7 by using the Newton-Raphson method and the initial value 2 up to second iteration. So in here, what we have to do is to write down the situation, approximate surd 7. So the meaning will be x is equals to surd 7. So remember step number 1, express the situation in fx equals to 0. So in here we have x cubed equals to 7. Rewrite the situation. X to the power of 3 minus 7 equals to 0. So in here, the function of fx will be x to the power of 3 minus 7. Second step is to find the first derivative. And we will have f prime x is equals to 3x squared. Next is to imagine the situation. where is the location of set 7? So here I'm going to illustrate the situation in a number line.
Okay, untuk situasi ni, kenapa saya tulis X equals to set 7? Di sini sebenarnya kalau you kata approximate, dia telah menunjukkan bahawa dia adalah nilai X. Okay, dia adalah nilai X. So dia kata by using Newton-Raphson kan, automatic kita dah tahu. Kita perlukan function, iaitu apa-apalah equals to 0. Dan kita dapat fx kita. Kemudian differentiate dia. Okay.
So given a number line, so try to imagine the set 7 will be on the right hand side. So meaning that the starting point will be 0, followed by set 1. Then we have set 2, and so on until we have the final part will be set 8, which is equals to 2. So the question is, where is the location for set 7? It must be before the set 8. So meaning that in here we have set 7. So as we can...
Boleh? So ini saya just bagi anggaran. Actually di mana set 7? Dia di antara 0 sampai set 8. So set 8 sebenarnya 2 lah. Kalau you nak lagi teliti, sebenarnya dia berada di antara set 1 until set 8. So maknanya di antara 1 hingga 2 lah. Faham? 1 hingga 2. Tapi untuk case ini, dia luar biasa sikit. Dia bagilah initial value. Okay? Initial value. Dia sudah beri. So apa-apa pun, kita perlu substitute. Okay? Kita perlu substitute. Substitute. Dan guna calculator, key in, dan ulang proses dia. Ingat saya kata apa? 2 kali. Okay, 2 kali. Boleh? So, ini adalah kali pertama. Kita panggil first iteration. Ini adalah kali kedua. So, saya perlu tekan dan dapat jawapan. So, untuk case yang macam ni, dia tak perlu repeat. Sebab apa? Baca soalan. Up to second iteration. Maksudnya, dia suruh you, bila sampai 2 je, berhenti. Faham? Example yang sebelum ini, dia tak bagi tahu bila nak berhenti. So, you kena tengok sampai repeated, baru berhenti. So, kalau untuk case ini, sampai sini sahaja berhenti. Okay, berhenti. So, di sini, ada tak dia pesan, nak berapa signifikan ke, berapa decimal? Dia tak bagi tahu. So, kalau dia tak bagi tahu, kita kena smart lah. Iaitu, 3 significant figure. Berhenti. Faham tak? So, kita dah biasa buat dan buat dan buat. Akhirnya kita lupa apa yang kita nak sebenarnya. So, harap example macam ni memberi pengalaman kepada you.
The questions show that the iteration formula for finding the square root of any positive number p. So, in here, x will be equals to square root of p. So, kindly refers to the situation. Here they mention that finding the square root of any positive number p. Okay, so in here, that's why I write down x equals to square root of p. So do remember, we are going to find the fx. So where we have to square both sides for this situation, and we will have x squared minus p after we square both sides. Next, rearrange the situation, and we will have fx is equals to x squared minus p. Second step is to find the first derivative, where we have f prime x is equals to 2x. Next, referring to the question, show that the iteration formula x sub n plus 1 is equals to 1 over 2 bracket x sub n plus p over x sub n. So what we have to do now is to substitute the formula. So what we have to do now is to substitute the function into the formula. So kindly refers to the situation x sub n plus 1 equals to x sub n minus the function ratio f with the value x sub n over f prime with the value x sub n as well. So substitute the function into the formula.
So, untuk soalan macam ni, dia tengok macam menakutkan sikit. Tapi apa-apa pun, dia back to basic. Okay, back to basic. So, kalau you nampak, find the square root kan. So, inilah dia kan. Then, macam biasa, kita kena cari function fx dengan dia punya dy dx. Kemudian, dah dapat, substitute sajalah. Okay, substitute. Okay, nampak? Substitute. Kemudian, dia ada algebraic sikit lah. Okay, nak test dia punya algebra. So, kena manipulate sikit lah.
So, x sub n squared over 2x sub n minus, we have the bracket, x sub n squared over 2x sub n minus, we have p over 2 multiplied with x sub n. So rewrite the situation. 2x sub n squared minus with x sub n squared over 2.
So, harap you faham. Ni, saya expand atau saya buka kurungan. Nampak? Benda ini tolak, benda ini over ni. Ini dengan ini dapat plus. Then, saya ringkaskan dia. Saya dapat inilah. Nampak? 2 minus 1 dapat 1 saja. So, saya ringkaskan. Ini pun saya ringkaskan. Kemudian, soalan kata show kan. So, saya perlu buat sesuatu.
N plus 1 is equals to, simplify the situation and we will have 1 over 2 bracket. We have x sub n plus with the p over x sub n. So,
saya dah dapat show. Ada perkataan hence, maksudnya saya nak guna dia untuk cari jawapan saya. Square root of 3. So, mesti pelajar terkejut. Kenapa guna ini pula? So, saya nak tanya, dari mana benda ini datang? Dari sini kan? Betul? So, formula ni adalah Newton-Raphson punya formula untuk cari roots kan? Sebenarnya saya dah substitute, saya dah ganti. Akhirnya, sebenarnya biru ini dengan hijau ini adalah sama fungsi dia. Okay? So, seterusnya, find the square root of 3. Faham? Square root of 3, maksudnya P kita adalah 3 lah. Square root of 3. P kita adalah 3. So, saya nak ganti. Okay, saya nak ganti. Boleh kot? Saya ganti. 1.5. So, harap you faham kenapa saya ambil 1.5. Sebab square root of 3, betul tak? Di antara square root of 1 until square root of 4. That's why dia di antara 1 dengan 2, saya ambil 1.5 lah. Saya ganti. Okay, saya ganti. Then, saya tekan calculator. So, jangan lupa kena tulis benda yang ini 2 kali. Dan akhirnya, saya dapat repeated value. Dan saya dapatlah jawapan saya 4 decimal places. So, 4 decimal places. Okay. So, inilah contoh-contoh tentang Newton-Raphson.